The Bad Batch Season 2 Episode 12, The Outpost, was one of the most anticipated episodes of the season, and did it deliver? I would certainly say so, and it was Dee Bradley Baker's personal favourite. Going into the episode, we knew it was something to do with Crosshair, but I don't think any of us were prepared for how heart-wrenching it was going to get. It was dark and tragic, but in a big way, teased what is still to come. So today we're going to do a breakdown, but primarily focus on Crosshair, what's to come in his future, and the ending explained. At the start of the episode, Crosshair is on Coruscant. At this stage, the Empire is really starting to phase out clones, and the new Imperials do not have any tolerance towards them. Walking past Crosshair, we see Captain Bragg from Season 1 in the Ryloth arc. Some clone troopers are complaining to her that they're being decommissioned, but she has no interest and diverts them elsewhere. A new lieutenant called Nolan assigns Crosshair to a mission on the planet of Barton 4, where high-value cargo has been targeted by local insurgents. The Empire needs to get there to secure it before its transfer at week's end. Now, pardon my French, but this Nolan guy is an absolute twat. He's the epitome of Imperials who don't like clones. He's so awful he makes Admiral Rampart look decent by comparison. But the irony is that this is the mission that helps Crosshair finally at long last wake up to what the Empire is really like. They are not looking out for his best interest, and it starts right from the get-go. Notice the way Nolan tells Crosshair he's out of uniform just because he has his helmet off. In his mind, the clones are not human beings. He doesn't want to see their faces. He doesn't want to consider them remotely possessing personhood. He refers to two clones as used equipment. To him, they're disposable. On the icy world of Barton 4, which was very reminiscent of Hoth, we find out the Empire abandoned clones on the planet 36 rotations ago. There was meant to be a pickup that never came. Mayday was the commander of that outpost, and he's very similar to other clones we've seen across the 2 seasons, those who initially remained loyal, but are now fed up of being tossed aside after everything they did for the Republic, and now the Empire. Throughout the episode, Mayday serves as the catalyst for Crosshair's defection, and when they almost die in an avalanche, Crosshair is the one responsible for bringing Mayday back to safety, even though Commander Mayday doesn't make it. But there's one line in the episode that really spoke to Crosshair's heart. Mayday says, "We were good soldiers, we followed orders, and look where that got us." It flipped Crosshair's famous saying around on him, and in that moment he questioned to himself, what am I really fighting for? Look what the Empire has done. Despite doing their best on the mission, it's the mission outcome that counts. The Empire has no regard for their humanity, their well-being. They don't care if clones die. And there was a truly harrowing foreshadowing moment when they see the stormtrooper armor in the cargo. The new soldiers of the Empire are being recruited while the clones get the scraps. Crosshair brings Mayday back, and it's there Lieutenant Nolan refuses to save the commander's life. He served his purpose. Nolan tells him that Mayday was expendable, as is Crosshair. I'm still amazed at how much emotion was conveyed in this style of animation. Crosshair's pain was so unbearable to watch. He's had enough, and so he shoots Nolan in the chest. While this signaled a final redemption for Crosshair, he passes out from exhaustion and maybe even frostbite from the trek through the night across the snow, and then he was taken to Mt Tantiss. There we see the female scientist from last week, Emery Kerr. Now this is very significant. Over the last few weeks, I've been talking a lot about what the Empire is going to do to the remaining clones, and I also mentioned the Death Trooper program. This is going to remove their free will and turn them into obedient soldiers and killers of the Empire. Crosshair's act of defiance in episode 12 just made him the guinea pig of the experiment, Patient Zero, and that solidified the Empire's distrust of clones. While the Jedi of the Republic once saw them as having individual personalities, as autonomous beings, the Empire sees them as a relic of the past, something that can and needs to be tossed aside. Now there are many ways the show can go about doing this. There might be an inhibitor chip equivalent to control his mind, or it might be a sort of lobotomizing procedure, but in either case, the scientist teased he'll be lucky if he survives. There are endless ways they might do this, but all the outcomes seem very sinister for Crosshair. I'd say maybe worse than death. If I were to theorize with complete optimism, I'd say that when Omega gets taken in, the Batch along with Echo and Rex come and save both of them, and Crosshair becomes part of Clone Force 99 again. It was clear in the episode he misses them, and a part of me wonders, does he think they're dead? But taking off the rose-coloured glasses, I'd say it's too late for him. This is his future, reduced to servitude with no personality or free will. The Bad Batch once again shadowed some of the darkest themes explored in Andor, how truly vile and cruel the Empire can be. They don't care about individuals or the harm they cause them. It's all about draconian control, authoritarianism, and compliance, something Nemik in his manifesto spoke about. And while Nemik represented the naive, idealistic side of the rebellion, he wasn't wrong about the Empire always needing a tight grip. Authority is brittle and requires constant control. Now when it comes to Crosshair, I don't think we're going to get an answer for a long time. Next week's episode 13, is called Pabu. No idea what that's about. That could be a new character. I think we're going back to the Bad Batch. And then episode 14 is also an unknown. But with a name like Tipping Point, this might be the episode they sever ties with Sid, or vice versa. That relationship has already turned sour, neither side trusts each other, and I think it's going to go down the toilet. But the two-part finale, The Summit and Plan 99, is definitely based on Mt Tantiss. The summit refers to the highest point of the mountain on Wayland, and I think that could be a secret laboratory, and hopefully we do see what's really going on in there. We haven't seen much of anything going on, they're teasing it very slowly, and I've got a very bad feeling about Plan 99. The new Imperials could find out that Crosshair was part of an experimental unit, Clone Force 99, and they might want more than just Omega, maybe the entire batch. Are they going to get them? I honestly don't think so. I think the Bad Batch survive. The reason I say that is the other day, the panels for 2023 Star Wars Celebration were announced, and on the Monday, there is a Bad Batch panel, and Jennifer Corbett said there's a lot to talk about. Is this where they announce Season 3? I'm gonna say very likely. It is rumoured the Kainer brothers are working on another Star Wars animated project, and that could very much be Season 3 of The Bad Batch. Fingers crossed. I think overall, this is going to be a 3 or 4 season show. Even the so-called filler episodes do have a point. They do come full circle probably in later seasons. Dave Filoni always said he doesn't throw things in for no reason. Also worth noting about the Celebration panels, there's going to be another live-action showcase where they're going to talk about The Mandalorian Season 4 and the Andor show, and on the Saturday, an Ahsoka panel where they're probably going to give us the trailer, announce the cast, a release date, and the creatives talking about what to expect. But back to Crosshair, I suspect a very dark fate is coming. And one final thing about Crosshair, in this scene, a keen-eyed viewer pointed out the rocks behind Crosshair frame him with wings, like the ice vultures above him earlier in the episode. Almost like a foreshadowing, but also some very deep themes, ones you don't usually expect in animation. Life, death, transformation, redemption, and reckoning. But as I say guys, this episode was absolute perfection. I loved it, and I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. But what did you guys think? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also just to reiterate, yesterday I posted my full episode breakdown for The Mandalorian Chapter 18. Go check it out, it's a big one, lots of callbacks and references, and so much to talk about. But with that said guys, I wish you an amazing day no matter where you are in the galaxy. May the Force be with you always.